Okay, I have to start this deep dive with a word that, I don't know, it usually makes me roll my eyes a little bit.
Oh, I have a feeling I know where this is going.
Manifestor.
Yep, there it is.
I mean, when you hear that, what's the first thing that pops into your head?
Honestly. It's vision boards, expensive retreats, people trying to, wish a Ferrari into their driveway using only their mind.
Hmm.
It feels a bit ungrounded.
Right. It feels optional, a hobby. But in the source material we're looking at today, that definition gets, well, it gets thrown out the window immediately. The premise here isn't that you can choose to be a manifester. The premise is that you already are one. You're a factory running 24/7.
There's a much more industrial way to look at it. A lot more high stakes, frankly.
It is. The idea is that you're producing something, an outcome, a feeling, a reaction every single day. The only real question is whether you like the product you're shipping out.
Which totally removes the luxury of opting out. You can't just say,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not participating today.
Right.
You're still manifesting something, even if it's just, stress.
Exactly. And that's the energy we are diving into today. This is a broadcast from a creator known as Dankster Chef Cabrini.
And that name alone tells you a lot.
It does. She calls it Spirit Sunday. And her whole thing is feeding your mind, body, and soul.
And we should set the context right away because the date on this source is so important. It's Sunday, January 25, 2026.
So we're looking at a snapshot of the near future. And based on her description, it's a future that requires a very specific kind of survival guide.
It does. She sets the scene right away. It's Spirit Sunday, the day to connect with the guide in you.
Mm.
And she says it doesn't matter if you go to physical church or
Pillar Church.
Pillar Church,
Mm.
which I love, as long as you make that internal connection.
Pillar Church is definitely my denomination some weekends. But she pivots really quickly from that spiritual greeting to something much heavier. The core theme for this whole thing is legacy.
Right. And usually when we talk about legacy, we think about wills or estates,
Yeah.
a building with your name on it. We treat it as a noun, a thing you leave behind.
But Cabrini just flips it. Her big question is legacy something you leave behind? Or is it how you live right now?
It's a verb.
It's a verb. It's an active daily practice, not something you plan for later.
It's sort of like how sociologists talk about social capital. It's not a bank account you fill up and leave behind. It's the currency you're trading in, every single interaction.
And to illustrate this, she uses a story that I really did not expect. I was ready for a story about, I don't know, a CEO or a famous artist. Instead, she takes us to a discount grocery store.
The parable of Eugene. I think this story is the anchor for everything else she talks about.
So let's unpack Eugene. He owns a franchise of a grocery outlet. Now, this isn't some fancy high-end market. It's a discount store.
It's functional, utilitarian.
Yeah.
But the way Cabrini describes it, Eugene didn't just sell flayed. He created a feeling.
A feeling, yeah. She says the store had this specific connectedness. He played music that just felt like the community. She even says people would walk over from the Starbucks next door.
Where they just paid $7 for a latte.
Right, and they just come wander the aisles of this grocery store because the vibe was just that magnetic.
That's what urban sociologists call a third place.
Mm-hmm.
Your home is your first place, work is your second. The third place is where you find community. The barbershop, the pub.
And Eugene turned a discount canned goods aisle into a third place.
Imagine that. And there's a specific detail about how he did it. The store is in Compton, and the demographics had shifted. It went from about 90% black to 75% Hispanic.
Now, a lazy business owner or a manifester on autopilot would just keep ordering the same stuff and complain that things are changing.
But not Eugene. He listened to the elders in the community. He asked what they needed. He started stocking goods for the new demographic, even if it took him out of his comfort zone.
He was paying attention. He wasn't trying to force the community to fit his store. He molded the store to fit the community.
Which is so important. But then tragedy strikes. Cabrini says Eugene was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and was gone within 6 months.
Here today, gone tomorrow. That's the phrase she uses. And this is where the lesson on legacy really hits home.
Because the store didn't close. A new couple took over the franchise.
But Cabrini says the legacy, the feeling, it vanished instantly.
It's like a computer system. You
Yeah.
know, the building, the shelves, the inventory, that's the hardware. Anyone can buy the hardware.
Ah, I like that.
But Eugene, he was the software. He was the operating system that made it all hum.
And the new owners, they had the keys to the building, but they just didn't have the code.
The essence was gone. The vibe just died. And it highlights her point that legacy is so incredibly fragile. It wasn't the business, it was the person.
It's kind of heartbreaking. She says Eugene probably didn't even know he was building a legacy while he was just stocking shelves. He was just being Eugene.
And that proves her point. If you're waiting to build your legacy someday, you're gambling with time you might be in it. His legacy was just Tuesday and then Wednesday until he ran out of days.
So if legacy is this fragile thing we live every day, that brings us to the context of where we're living it. And this is where the deep dive gets a little intense. We have to talk about the world of January 2026, according to Cabrini.
We do. She uses a really powerful metaphor for the social and political climate. The lotus flower.
Which is usually a symbol of like peace and purity, right?
It is. But she explains the biology. A lotus is beautiful, but it has one requirement. It only bloom in mucky, dirty, nasty water.
You can't grow it in a clean swimming pool. It needs the mud.
It needs the mud to feed it. And her assessment is that the world in 2026 is definitely a mucky pond.
To put it mildly, and we have to report this impartially just as she presents it, but she paints a picture of a very turbulent America. She calls it the ununited states of America.
Yeah, she refers to 4 years of horror. And this feeling that policies from previous administrations, she mentions Obama and Biden by name, were dismantled in just 9 months.
There's a palpable sense of shock at the speed of it all in her account. She brings up chaos in Chicago in 2025 and 2026, and she compares it to the civil rights movement, to the struggles of the Black Panthers in the 50s and 60s.
That's a heavy comparison. She's drawing a direct line from the past to this moment in 2026.
She is, but, and this is where her guide persona really comes through, she argues this muck is actually necessary.
Like the lotus needing the mud.
Exactly. Society needs this friction to bloom into something new. She's not saying give up. She's saying this mess is the fertilizer.
She even suggests that because things were dismantled so quickly, it proved they weren't built on a solid enough foundation to begin with, so the new blooming has to be more intentional.
Okay, let's talk about that intentionality, because her advice on how to handle this chaos is, well, it's surprising. You hear gangster chef, and you expect her to say, fight fire with fire.
But she goes the complete opposite direction. It's very strategic. She warns against running out their guns blazing. She says if you just react with anger, you're giving them, the opposition, a reason to shoot.
It's a call for discipline. She brings up this incredible visual from the civil rights marches. She talks about the shoes.
The Stacey Adams shoes.
Yeah, the pantyhose.
Yes. She says they walked for miles in dress shoes and heels. Their feet were bleeding, but they were dressed impeccably.
And that wasn't about fashion. It was about psychological warfare. It signaled, we are not the chaos. We are the structure. We are the dignity. It's hard to dismiss discipline.
So strategic legacy means not reacting, but acting with intention. Stop, look, and listen. That's her mantra. But then she connects this history lesson with a very modern tool. And I have to admit, this was a curveball.
You're talking about the AI section.
I am. I did not see a spiritual Sunday broadcast about civil rights legacy pivoting to artificial intelligence.
It feels like a contradiction, doesn't it? We usually hear about AI disconnecting us, but she advises using AI to, quote, move through the planet perfectly.
What does that even mean? Is she talking about using it to write protest signs? I don't think so. She specifically says, not for fake memes or the trivial stuff. I think she's making a deeper point about logic versus emotion.
Okay, break that down for me.
We'll think about the muck she's describing. It's emotional, it's angry, it's fearful. Humans get into that and we get hot, we get reactive.
I'll start guns blazing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But AI is cold. It's pure logic. It's efficient. She's suggesting we use these tools to handle the organizing, the strategy, the logistics. Let the AI handle the how so the humans can focus on the why.
That is fascinating. Use the robot to clear the path so you don't burn out, just trying to figure out the logistics.
It's about creating peace in pockets. She says you can't save the whole planet at once, but you can use these tools to organize your specific community, just like Eugene organized his grocery store.
So we have the goal, legacy, the context, the mucky pond, and the strategy, AI and discipline. Now we need the method. And Cabrini gives us a framework with the best name ever.
I think I know what you're referring to.
Cabrini's Law of FUCK.
It's definitely memorable. But she's pulling a bit of a trick on us. It's an acronym.
It stands for Finally Understanding Common Knowledge.
Which is clever. It takes a phrase of dismissal, F that, and turns it into a moment of realization. The idea is that the answers aren't new. We already know them. We're just finally paying attention.
She breaks this law down into 3 core questions. Question 1, who are you?
Identity, fundamental. If you don't define yourself, the chaos out there will define you for you.
Question 2, what do you want?
Direction. You need a target, otherwise you're just thrashing in the mud.
And question 3, why do you want it?
Purpose. That's the fuel. Eugene's was selling groceries. His why was serving his community. The why is what made it a legacy.
And once you answer those, she gives us 5 principles to actually live it out. The first one is simple. Make a decision.
She asks, how do you want to show up? It's about deciding your character before the crisis hits. You decide to be a healer or a builder. You don't wait for the situation to dictate who you are.
Principle 2, trust. She even references the alchemist here.
When you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. It's about trusting that once you set your intention, the path will appear. It balances the AI logic with some spiritual faith.
Principle 3, get focused. This one is tough for me. She specifically calls out doom scrolling.
It's so vital, especially in the 2026 she describes. You have to tune in to your internal guide, not just the external noise. Distraction is the enemy of legacy. If you consume chaos, you manifest chaos.
Principle 4, take inspired action, not just any action, inspired action.
Right, this goes back to the guns blazing point. Don't just do something to release energy. Do something specific for your community today. Eugene didn't fix the national economy. He stocked the right salsa for the elders. That's inspired action. Small, specific, effective.
And finally, number 5, see how God works, or basically enjoy the journey.
And she admits that's tough when things are mucky. But she points out that answers come from unexpected places, like her remembering Eugene. That memory became the lesson. You have to be open to those moments.
It really all circles back to this idea that we're all, right now, lotus flowers in the mud. We might not see the bloom yet, but the process is happening.
And just reframing it that way is psychological armor. It takes the fear out of the horror she's describing and turns it into a growth phase. It's not the end of the world, it's just the germination period.
So what does this all mean for us listening right now? If we strip away the 2026 date, what's the takeaway? Cabrini closes with a really strong definition of legacy that I think we should all just stick on the wall.
Yeah, she strips away all the materialism. She says legacy isn't a mansion. It isn't a million-dollar business.
It is how you made people feel, how you loved them, and who you helped.
That's the Eugene standard. Did people feel better just by being in your orbit? Or did they feel drained? That's the metric.
She actually gives an affirmation she wants us to say. I think it's worth reading out loud. I am not waiting to be remembered. I am living in a way that cannot be forgotten. My words, my action, my love will be my legacy.
Living in a way that cannot be forgotten. That phrase really shifts the agency back to the present moment. You aren't writing your epitaph, you're just writing your daily schedule.
It just challenges that whole idea of waiting. Waiting for the promotion, waiting for the political climate to settle down, waiting for retirement to start giving back.
Cabrini would say, if you're waiting, you're just floating in the muck without blooming.
Exactly. She has this great line at the end, Monday is just your forever Friday.
I love that. It means bring that celebration, that weekend energy into the start of the week. Don't save your joy. The legacy is built on a Tuesday morning just as much as a Saturday night.
It's a call to immediacy. If the world is chaotic, your stability becomes your legacy. If the world is hateful, your love becomes your legacy. You become the counter-narrative.
That is the ultimate form of rebellion, isn't it? To be a clear pool of water in a mucky pond.
So here's the challenge for everyone listening, and it's a heavy one, but a necessary one. If today was your last day, if you were Eugene, and the timeline got cut short, what story would people tell?
And now what story you would want them to tell? What story would they tell based on how you showed up yesterday?
Would they talk about your stress, your political rants, or would they talk about how you made them feel?
It's the difference between being a store that sells food and being a place where people come to feel connected.
That's it. That is the deep dive. We are all stocking shelves in one way or another. The question is, what's the vibe in your store?
And are you brave enough to bloom even when the water is mucky?
A huge thank you to the source material from Gangster Chef Cabrini for this one. It's a lot to chew on.
Indeed. Finally, understanding common knowledge.
F-U-C-K. That. Thanks for listening, everyone. Go manifest something good.
Take care.